This is gonna be a tough one to talk about. Hi, I'm Rex King, and today I'm reviewing Megalopolis. Megalopolis is the film written and directed by Francis Ford Coppola. It follows a guy named Caesar who lives in New Rome, basically New York with Roman architecture, and he has invented this super metal. He wants to use it to build a utopia. However, standing in his way is the mayor of New Rome, played by Giancarlo Esposito. And caught in the middle is the mayor's daughter, who ends up falling for Caesar. So, yeah, as I said, this was Francis Ford Coppola's passion project. He put a lot of effort and a lot of his own money into making this movie. And it wasn't entirely successful. What do I mean by that? Well, it gets his point across. He's clearly trying to explain why it's important that we build a utopia and why we should try to produce an exchange of ideas and always look towards building a better future. However, he doesn't deliver any successful counter-arguments to make the film compelling enough to actually enjoy. So, the problem I have with this film is Francis Ford Coppola seems to be taking the approach of, this is my idea and this is what I think would work, and then not really expanding upon the counter arguments to encourage a discussion, which is weird because this film is about creating a world where people can discuss about their ideas and move towards a better future. Yet, this film doesn't seem to want to encourage any counterpoints to the utopianist argument. And that's the problem. It also doesn't really seem to know what it wants us to think about the mayor. Some people say he's supposed to be hated and greedy, but I never really get that from his point of view. And I never really see him as greedy in the story overall. He seems to be more practical, wanting to just fix the problems here and now and not do the whole build a better future. Focus on practical problems. And as such, he's not really able to build upon his base of ideas all that well. Other problems in this film is, well, it has a lot that it's trying to say, and it's not doing a good job at saying it. A lot of the dialogue choices and a lot of the characters are just not written well. In fact, most of the characters aren't really characters, just one-note tropes that we've seen in better films. And then there are times when we focus on characters and they don't impact what Caesar's doing all that much. And then, there's towards the end, the final conflict, Caesar doesn't really do anything, and it just kinda happens. And comes a point in this film where Caesar just doesn't do a whole lot, and we're supposed to believe he's this great visionary. Yet we really don't get to see him do much at all, and we don't really get to see him progress the society that he wants to make. He just expands upon his ideas occasionally, and that's about it. Now, I think this film would have been better if we focused on Caesar as a character instead of just his ideas, because I do believe there's a good character-driven story here if we focused on him more. Because when we see kind of him struggling with his ideas, fighting his own mind and some of the darker points that he has, I really feel like that's when the film succeeds. Yet, those moments are so far and few between in this 2.5-hour runtime that just feels like a slog. There are times where they are repeating the same point over and over again to try to get that point through the audience's head, and it just becomes superfluous. And then the ending happens, and honestly, they just rush through it. Honestly, this feels like this was supposed to be two different movies, but Francis Ford Coppola could not get the funding to do a two-parter or to do a 6-hour movie. So he ended up settling for this 2.5 hour runtime, and as such, the film just comes out clunky. Now, I want to stress, there is good work here. Adam Driver and Giancarlo Esposito are amazing in this film, and all the actors do a great job of what they are given. Shia LaBeouf, who plays Caesar's cousin and kind of sort of rival as well, is really well in this film, and there are sometimes that he's a little bit goofy, but I honestly kind of feel like that's more of the script's fault than his. And the visual work, I honestly think, is good. Yes, it's obvious CGI work, but I really like the design work. I really like the structure of New Rome. Yeah, I made a joke that it was basically New York City with Roman architecture, but it still feels unique. I do enjoy watching this film at times. It's just so frustrating that the story and characters are just not well done. At the end of the day, I'm going to give Megalopolis a 5 out of 10. And the only reason I'm giving it a 5 out of 10 is because all the great work that went into this movie for a very bad story and very bad characters. I cannot recommend this watch. I really think it is a slog to get through, especially if you're not into this type of film. And even if you're a hardcore Francis Ford Coppola fan, I really cannot stress that this is not his best work. Like, this really is something I really am disappointed by. Anyway, that's my opinion on Megalopolis. What did you think about it if you've seen it? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time.